NCERT will get deemed university status. UGC Working Committee gives approval. Now people will be able to take graduate and postgraduate degrees from NCERT as well. Centre imposes ban on the export of broken rice. The damage caused to rice cultivation in the states is cited as the main reason. India is the second largest rice producer after China. Bangladesh PM Sheikh Hasina visited India. Several agreements were signed between the two countries. Agreement related to the Qatar River remained the most important one. Virtual networking meeting held between India and Qatar. The focus was on agricultural and food products having GI tag. More than 400 products in India have GI tag. India slips one place in Human Development Index. A drop in score also seen. UNDP releases Human Development Index. Recently, CARA, that is Central Adoption Resource Authority, gave a shocking statement. According to CARA, at present, more than 1,000 adoption cases are pending in court. The matter is shocking because last year, the Government of India amended the rules related to adoption to ease the process. In fact, earlier, the court used to decide on child adoption applications. But in 2021, the government changed this rule. The central government passed the Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Amendment Bill in July 2021, which came into force in September. Through this amendment, the district magistrates were empowered to issue adoption orders. It also provided that all adoption cases pending before the court be transferred to the district magistrate from the date of commencement of this act. In view of the case pending in court, the rules were changed to make the adoption process easier. But these cases have not been transferred till now. In such a scenario, the adoption agency, including lawyers and activists associated with it, claim that neither the judges nor the district magistrates are aware of the new rule. Experts say that about 3,500 children are adopted every year in India. In such a situation, the delay in the adoption process despite the changes in the rules is quite worrying. Recently, NCERT, that is National Council of Educational Research and Training, submitted an application before the UGC seeking the status of deemed university. According to NCERT, the demand has been approved by the UGC. However, this proposal was also opposed by a member of NCERT. He argued that the status of a deemed university would take away the autonomy of NCERT. NCERT is seeking the status of deemed university from the UGC under the de novo category. After getting the status of a deemed university, NCERT will be able to conduct various programs. People will have the option of taking graduate, postgraduate and doctoral degrees from NCERT like other universities. The deemed university status will strengthen the efforts of NCERT to collaborate at the national and international levels towards educational research and innovation. Apart from this, NCERT will play an important role as a think tank organization of the Government of India. Actually, a de novo deemed university is an institution that works towards study and research in unique and emerging areas of knowledge. A deemed university is a type of higher educational institution. It is given the status of deemed to be university under Section 3 of the UGC Act of 1956. NCERT was established by the Government of India in the year 1961. It is an autonomous body which provides assistance and suggestions to the central government and the state governments on matters related to school education. The Executive Committee is the highest decision-making body of the NCERT. The Union Education Minister acts as its chairman. Presently, NCERT is conducting various programs as the apex organization for school education. This includes educational research and innovation, development of curriculum, and teaching materials. Recently, the central government has completely banned the export of broken rice. Also, the central government has imposed 20% export duty on selected varieties of rice. However, basmati and parboiled rice have been kept out of the purview. To fully implement the ban, the Directorate General of Foreign Trade has removed the export of broken rice from the free category to the restricted category. Significantly, in the past 4 years, the export of broken rice has increased by more than 43 times. About 1.8 million tons of broken rice was exported between April and June this year. The countries where rice was being exported the most include China, Senegal, Vietnam, Djibouti, and Indonesia. According to the experts, the ban on the export of broken rice is likely to halt overseas shipments of around 4 million tons. Also, with the increase in export duty, the prices of rice in the international market may increase. Due to this, consumers may have to face food inflation. The government rationale behind the ban of export of broken rice is that due to deficient monsoon rainfall this year, rice cultivation in some states has suffered heavy losses. Simultaneously, according to the data of Ministry of Agriculture, the country has witnessed a shortfall of about 6% in area under paddy cultivation during the current Kharif season. In addition, broken rice is used for consumption by the domestic poultry and as feedstock for other animals. Broken rice is also used as a feedstock for the production of ethanol. In such a situation, saving the country from the food crisis is the biggest challenge, due to which the government has taken this decision. Significantly, India is the second largest rice producer in the world after China. In the year 2021, India produced about 111 metric tons of rice in the Kharif season. You will be surprised to know that only 10 countries alone produce about 85% of the world's rice. The special thing is that all these 9 countries are located in Asia, except Brazil. Recently, the Union Minister of Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, chaired a meeting. The meeting was attended by top officials from different ministries, including Finance Secretary, RBI Deputy Governor, and Executive Director. The purpose of the meeting was to deliberate on illegal loan apps outside the regular banking channels and various other issues. During the meeting, the Union Finance Minister asked RBI to prepare a whitelist of valid legal loan apps. She also asked the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology to ensure that only legal loan application, that is, whitelisted apps, should be available on the Google App Store. At the same time, it has also been asked to take all possible action to stop the operation of illegal loan apps. In fact, these illegal loan apps provide loans to customers with no credit score and low savings. These apps are downloaded from the Google Play Store and Apple App Store. These apps provide loans to low-income people at exorbitantly high interest rates. They also resort to unethical means for recovery of loans. The Finance Minister also expressed concerns over money laundering, tax evasion, data theft, unregulated payment aggregators, and misuse of NBFCs by app operators. To deal with such a situation, it was decided to review the inactive NBFCs, that is, non-banking financial companies, and de-recognize them. Along with this, RBI has been asked to ensure that the registration of payment aggregators should be completed within a time limit, and any unregistered payment aggregator should be stopped from operating beyond the period. Apart from this, RBI has also been asked to monitor the mule or rented accounts that can be used or are being used for money laundering. The mule account is usually the first stage of money laundering, which is called the placement. This is the very channel through which illegal money is introduced into the financial system. Recently, WHO, that is World Health Organization, announced to start off a drive in Africa. The drive aims to end meningitis outbreaks across Africa by 2030. WHO has allocated $1.5 billion for this campaign. Under this drive, new types of vaccines and vaccination programs have also been included. Significantly, this vaccination program against meningitis will first be launched in those 26 African countries that are most vulnerable to this disease. It includes the countries of Sahara region. According to the WHO, the vaccination program will start in the year 2023 and will be widely implemented till the year 2030. WHO states that the meningitis vaccination of more than 50 million children in Africa got delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Hence, there is a possibility of re-emergence of this deadly disease. There was a 50% reduction in meningitis control activities in Africa in 2020 compared to 2019. Meningitis is a deadly disease. In this, the protective membranes that cover the brain and spinal cord become inflamed. According to the WHO, meningitis is caused by many different pathogens, including fungi, viruses, and bacteria. However, injury, cancer, and other types of infection can also cause meningitis. Symptoms include headache, a stiff neck, sudden onset of fever, nausea or vomiting, and feeling drowsy or confused. It spreads through sneezing, coughing, or coming in contact with an infected person. In the case of a newborn, the infection is passed on to the child through the mother. Meningitis is a severe disease affecting the body with lifelong disability and even death. According to WHO statistics, 1 in 5 patients suffer a lifelong disability and sometimes the patient dies within 24 hours. A recent study by scientists has found that invasive exotic red-eared slider turtle are becoming a threat to the native species of India. It means that foreign species are replacing the local species of turtle. This species breeds faster than the local turtles. As the size increases, they find it difficult to live in small tanks or ponds. In such a situation, the owner of the turtle leaves them in the forest or nearby water bodies. According to the scientists, the paws of the red-eared slider are lethal and kill native species and drive them away. Along with this, it also affects the food chain. Due to this, it has become a threat to soft-shell and hard-shell turtles. It is to be noted that the species is widely spread in many Indian states. Urban wetlands such as Sukhna Lake in Chandigarh, temple ponds in Guwahati, lakes in Bangalore, Sanjay Gandhi National Park in Mumbai, Yamuna River in Delhi, etc. are its main habitats. Experts say that to prevent the expansion of red-eared slider turtles, they should be taken captive and sent to the local zoos. Also, they should be used for research and teaching purposes. However, the government advisory demands registration and declaration of progenies of the imported exotic live species, which is not enough. But there should be more rules to prevent the species from entering our environment and negatively impacting the environment. Significantly, the species of slider turtles is considered as one of the 100 most invasive alien species in the world. They are present in almost every continent except Antarctica and some countries. Recently, Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was on a 4-day visit to India. Altogether, 7 agreements were signed between India and Bangladesh during this period. These agreements were related to various sectors, including railways, electricity, flood control, trade, etc. Also, some projects were inaugurated and some other were unveiled during the visit. Talking about the agreement, the most important agreement was related to the Kushara River water sharing, which was signed by both the countries recently. This is an important agreement between the two countries after the Treaty of Sharing Ganga Water in 1996. According to experts, this treaty will directly benefit the people living in southern Assam in India and the Sylhet block of Bangladesh. Discussions were also held between the two countries on increasing cooperation in the field of flood control. In fact, India has been sharing real-time based flood-related data with Bangladesh. Due to the expiry of its time period, it has been agreed to extend the duration. Apart from this, other agreements include training of railway personnel of Bangladesh, cooperation in the field of space technology, railway IT and broadcasting. Maitri thermal power plant was unveiled during the visit of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in India. This coal-based thermal power plant is being set up at Rampal, Khulna. Its first unit was synchronized with Bangladesh's power grid in August 2022. Once completed, the project will generate 1,320 megawatt of electricity. Apart from this, the 5.13 km long Rupsha rail bridge between the two countries was also inaugurated. Significantly, this bridge is an important part of the 64.7 km Khulna Mongla Port single track broad gauge railway project. The project has been financed by the Indian Line of Credit. Recently, the 51st session of the UNHRC, that is United Nations Human Rights Council, began in Geneva. This session commenced on September 12 and will continue till October 7 next month. On the very first day of the session, the human rights report relating to Sri Lanka was discussed. During the discussion, India's permanent representative, Shri Indramani Pandey, released the Tamil issue related to Sri Lanka. He said that Sri Lanka was backtracking from its commitment to the 13th constitutional amendment. So far, it has not taken any concrete steps to resolve the Tamil issue. In the wake of the deepening economic crisis in Sri Lanka in recent times, this issue has become even more pronounced. On the issue, Sri Lanka defended itself, saying that it is working towards protecting and furthering human rights. Soon the country will arrive at concrete solutions to these burning issues. However, China has opposed India while supporting Sri Lanka on this issue. It's worth noting that in 1987 an agreement was signed between the Prime Minister of India, Rajiv Gandhi, and the President of Sri Lanka, J.R. Jayawardene. Its objective was to end the crisis of ethnic conflict and civil war in Sri Lanka. At the same time, the security and protection of Sri Lankan Tamils were to be strengthened. In view of this, the Sri Lankan government made the 13th amendment to the constitution. This amendment talks about the transfer of power to the provincial councils established to govern the 9 provinces of Sri Lanka. After the constitutional amendment, the provincial council was also formed here. Subjects like education, health, agriculture, housing, land, and police were given to the provincial administration. However, due to restrictions on financial powers and the power of the president to anytime change the rules, the provincial administration did not work very well. Provisions mainly relating to police and land could never be implemented. That is why the Tamil issue remained in limbo. Sri Lanka has about 75% Sinhalese and about 11% Sri Lankan Tamil population. There always remains a conflict between these two groups over linguistic and religious issues. Recently, the Government of India organized a virtual networking meeting with the Embassy of India, Doha, and the Indian Business and Professionals Council, Qatar. This meeting was related to agriculture and food geographical indicators or GI products. Its objective is to boost the potential of exporting agricultural products in the country. In the meeting, senior officials of other departments, including the representatives of IDPS, APED, APIDA, also participated. According to the experts, this meeting will boost the coordination between exporters and importers for agricultural and food products. Also, such events are expected to further strengthen the confidence of the importers. Apart from this meeting will also provide a platform for future agricultural consignment. During the meeting, the exporters share information about their products like basmati rice, mango, pomegranate, including many processed products. During the year 21-22, APIDA contributed about 50% of the total agricultural exports in addition to the agricultural products. The export includes processed food products. Significantly, India is a major producer of many agricultural commodities like rice, fruits, vegetables, tea, etc. Along with this, many agricultural products of India also have the benefit of a geographical indication. Presently, there are more than 400 registered geographical indication tagged products in India, of which about 150 are agricultural and food products. Products come under the category of scheduled products under APIDA. These include fresh fruits, vegetables, processed foods, animal products and grains. Significantly, geographical indication is used to identify goods originating in a certain geographical area. The Geographical Indication Registration and Protection of Goods Act 1999 deals with the registration of geographical indications of goods in India and providing them better protection. Let us tell you that it is a part of the aspects related to the trade of intellectual property rights of WTO as well. Recently, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi inaugurated the International Dairy Federation's World Dairy Summit 2022. The 4-day-long summit was organized at India Expo Center and Mart, Greater Noida. The summit focuses on the theme of dairying for nutrition and livelihoods. Around 1,500 participants from 50 countries participated in this summit. International Dairy Federation World Dairy Summit is organized every year. Earlier, this summit was held in India in the year 1974, and at that time, The milk production in India was 23 million tons annually. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, India ranks first in the world in terms of milk production, while the US is second and China is third. India currently contributes about 23% of the total global milk production. The major milk producing states in India are Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Andhra Pradesh. India produces about 210 million tons of milk annually. The per capita milk availability in 2020-2021 was 427 grams per day. Presently, the total value of dairy production is about Rs 8.5 lakh crore, which is more than the combined value of paddy and wheat production. Apart from this, at present, it is the biggest means of livelihoods for the farmers. Recently, the third stealth frigate warship, Taragiri, built under Project 17A, was launched. The ship has been named after Taragiri, a mountain range in the Himalayas located in the Garhwal region. The ship has been designed by the Naval Design Bureau and built by Mazgaon Dock Shipbuilders Limited. The ship has been built using an integrated construction methodology. The length of the ship is 149 meters and its width is 17.8 meters. The ship has a displacement capacity of 6,670 tons and a maximum speed of 28 nautical miles. Apart from this, Taragiri will be equipped with many state-of-the-art weapons, sensors, and advanced action information systems. It will also have a surface-to-surface supersonic missile system. Frigate is a type of warship, whereas stealth technology is used in stealth frigates. Stealth technology makes it easier to protect the ship from radar, sonar, etc. In stealth technology, ship or aircraft is coated in such a way that they absorb the waves coming from the radars of the enemy. Due to this, enemies cannot locate such ships in the sea. Thus, these ships are capable of attacking while remaining hidden. Project 17A was commissioned to produce a series of guided missile frigates. Its purpose to make the country's maritime defense system more robust. The estimated cost of Project 17A is around Rs 25,700 crore. Nilgiri, the first ship built under Project 17A, was launched in 2019 and is expected to start sea trials in 2024. The second ship built under it is Udaygiri, which was launched on May 17 this year. Recently, United Nations Development Programme, that is UNDP, published the Human Development Report. In this report, the Human Development Index for 2021 was released. According to the report, for the first time in the last 3 decades, India registered a decline in its score for 2 consecutive years. In 2021, India ranked 132nd out of 191 countries with a score of 0.63. Consequently, India has been placed in the category of countries with medium human development. In 2020, India was ranked 131st out of 189 countries with a score of 0.64. The reason of the falling of HDI values in the report is attributed to the declining life expectancy in India, which has come down from 70 years to 67 years in this time period. However, there has been an improvement in the average years of schooling, which has increased from 6.5 to 6.7 years as of 2020. Apart from this, the impact of gender inequality on human development in India has also been less as compared to 2019. The report lauds India's efforts through pilot projects to ensure a minimum guaranteed income. In this list, Switzerland ranks first, Norway is second, and Iceland is third. India's neighboring countries, Pakistan, Nepal and Myanmar are on the lower side of the list vis-a-vis India. On the other hand, Sri Lanka, China, Bangladesh and Bhutan are ahead of India. Significantly, the concept of Human Development Index was developed by Pakistan economist Mehboob-ul Haq. Its objective is to track progress of human development based on 3 key dimensions. These dimensions include a long and healthy life, access to education, and a decent standard of living. The first Human Development Index was released in 1990. Let us now look at the 5 questions based on the bulletin.
Questions for this series are: first question is, consider the following statements. 1. Meningitis is caused by pathogens like fungi, viruses and bacteria. 2. Meningitis spreads through contact with an infected person. 3. Meningitis in a newborn baby is caused by infection through the mother. Which of the above statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, 1 and 3 only, or all of the above. Next question is, consider the following statements. 1. Red-eared slider turtle is an exotic species in India. 2. Red-eared slider turtles are found in almost every continent except Antarctica and some countries. 3. Exotic species always threaten the local species. Which of the above statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 1 and 3 only, or all of the above. Next question is, consider the following statements. 1. Recently, the 53rd session of the United Nations Human Rights Council was held. 2. The 13th Constitutional Amendment of Sri Lanka mentions the transfer of power to provincial councils. 3. About 75% of Sri Lankans belong to the Sinhalese community. Which of the above statement or statements is or are incorrect? 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 3 only, or none of the above. Next question is, consider the following statements. 1. There are more than 400 registered geographical indication status products in India. 2. About 150 agricultural and food products of India have geographical indication status. 3. The Geographical Indications of Goods Registration and Protection Act 1999 seeks to provide better protection and registration of geographical indications relating to goods in India. Which of the above statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, 1 and 3, or all of the above. Last question is, consider the following statements. 1. India ranked 132nd out of 191 countries in the Human Development Index for 2021. 2. The first Human Development Index was released in 1990. 3. The concept of the Human Development Index was developed by the Pakistani economist Mehboob ul Haq. Which of the above statement or statements is or are incorrect? 1 only, 2 only, 3 only, or none of the above. Recently, Kibithu military garrison camp has been renamed. The camp's name has been changed in honor of India's first Chief of Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat. Now this camp will be known as General Bipin Rawat Military Garrison Camp. Notably, General Rawat commanded his battalion 511 Gorkha Rifles in Kibithu from 1999 to 2000 as a colonel. Kibithu is a small village in Arunachal Pradesh and it is situated on the banks of the Lohit Valley in the eastern part of India. Recently, the Ministry of External Affairs announced that India will host the G20 summit next year. According to the ministry, India will assume the presidency of the G20 for 1 year from 1st December 2022 to 30th November 2023. The G20 is a strategic multilateral forum connecting the world's major developed and emerging economies. Its members represent more than 80% of the world's GDP. The G20 started in 1999 as a meeting of finance ministers and central bank governors, and it later evolved into an annual summit of the heads of the governments. Haralur Lake in Bengaluru is again in the headlines after a large number of fish were found dead. Haralur Lake is extremely rich in biodiversity. About 77 bird species have been spotted in this lake in the past 5 years, but the lake's ecosystem has been jolted by repeated ingress of polluted waters. Factors like sewage and dumping of industrial chemicals into the lake have led to fish deaths. According to a report titled Fish Kill in Lake of Bangalore 2017 to 2022, released by Action Aid, there has been a significant increase in the number of fish deaths in Bengaluru's lakes in the last 5 years. The report identifies 4 vulnerable lakes where the frequency of fish deaths has been high. These lakes are Haralur, Madiwala, Belandur and Komaghata lakes. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh has announced to set up a dashboard for sharing the best technical measures between the centre and the states. He stated that a nodal officer will be appointed to know and share the best technical measures with the states, and he will also be responsible for coordination and cooperation between the centre and the states. Dr. Jitendra Singh made these announcements during the concluding session of the two-day Centre State Science Conference held at Science City, Ahmedabad. The Jammu and Kashmir government will declare 23rd September as a public holiday to commemorate the birth anniversary of Maharaja Hari Singh. Maharaja Hari Singh was the last independent ruler of Jammu and Kashmir, and he was the one who signed the instrument of accession with India. He was a great educationist, progressive thinker, social reformer, and a great man of ideas and ideals. The Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Shri Manoj Sinha, stated that the public holiday would be a fitting tribute to the rich legacy of Maharaja Hari Singh. Roger Federer of Switzerland, one of the most famous tennis players in the world, have decided to retire from professional tennis after the conclusion of the Laver Cup 2022 to be held in London next week. Federer, the marvel of tennis, has created history by playing more than 1,500 matches in 24 years. Roger Federer has won 20 Grand Slam titles in his career. The central government has now decided to bring the entire health network of railway hospitals and health units across India under NHA, that is National Health Authority. With this decision, all the hospitals and health units of the railways will now come under the purview of the insurance scheme of the centers, Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. An agreement in this regard was signed between the Health Executive Director of the Ministry of Railways and the NHA earlier this month. Ayushman Bharat scheme intends to provide health insurance. This week, Minister of Finance Nirmala Sitharaman chaired the 26th meeting of the FSDC, that is Financial Stability and Development Council. This meeting was held in Mumbai, Maharashtra. The current state of the economy was reviewed in this meeting. Issues such as early warning indicators for the economy and preparedness to deal with them and improving the efficiency of the existing financial and credit information systems were emphasized in this meeting.